Welcome in to day 3 of the V-Line Cup. My name is Harvey Constable. We have got a triple header out here at Mars Stadium. It is the Bendigo Pioneers against the Gippsland Power. 3 for you right now. This is the Girls Division 1. All brought to you by Sportscast Australia. Big thank you to the major partner V-Line as well. As I said, my name's Harvey Constable. There's Gippsland Power in the darker blue, and there is the skipper. That's Taylor Mizzy. Kick was smothered off the boots. So they will attempt to get the ball forward here, Gippsland. They will do so successfully. They won the toss, kicking to the left of screen to start proceedings. Almost in there, picking it up was Conway for the Pioneers as the rain starts to fall here. Of course, typical Ballarat weather. As a Melbourne boy myself, I am not unused to rain, I wouldn't say, but particularly out here. Was here last year alongside Austin Kruger. And most certainly we suffered the conditions that day, but very blessed. Got the roof over the head. And so the Pioneers are in defence. Of course, the V-Line Cup, it's 3 divisions, 2 for the boys and a girls division. Teams from 7 regions, the best country under 15 footballers in the state. They're on display. It's just an exhibition, really. The games are won, as that's a good tackle down there, not rewarded. But the games are won, but no one really lifts the trophy at the end. Picked up quickly by Grace Scott, who fires towards the top of the goal square. No mark taken. Pioneers 2-on-1 do pretty well. And I will just preface, you might hear already a bit of croakiness in the voice, so I apologise if it goes or if you hear me going through a coughing fit at some point through this day. Already on the back foot. And about 6 hours of calling may not help the throat, but we'll see how we go. There's the Pioneers trapped in defence. Have a couple of fumbles going out. And there was Briganti for Gippsland. Also, Casey Johnson was named in the best on Monday. The Pioneers do get outside a defensive 50. And there's a bit of a scramble on at half forward. In there to pick it up was Taranto. And there's plenty of players around this, expecting it to be quite a hotly contested football. Plenty of players around it. It's Gippsland kicking to the left of screen. If you're just joining us, they did win the toss. The wind does seem to be sort of favouring that end of the ground. Conway trying to come through for the Pioneers. Does get hands to it in the end. Picked up by Dunham. Dumps it out. Scramble in the middle here. Pioneers unable to get it. Briganti is for Gippsland. Picks it up. Didn't get enough on the kick. We'll go back and follow up Briganti. Now kicks inside attacking 50. Can she find a target? Not quite the mark. Just misjudged there, Henry. In the pocket, and we're going to get another ball up here. So just reiterating, triple header, the girls Division 1 up first. It's the Bendigo Pioneers against the Gippsland Power, best under 15 country players in the state of Victoria. The V-Line Cup. Quick handball comes out, chance for Dillo, didn't quite get it on the boot. Pioneers doing a lot of the early defending, and a free kick going the way of Gippsland. They've probably earned that. So an opportunity for the first score of the day for the Gippsland Power. Coached by Michaela Williams, Scott McDougall, assistant coach. They were defeated by the South East Stingrays 71-24 on Monday. Chance to rewrite the history books as the first shot on goal is a miss. Comes from Ava Pask. So Bendigo, an opportunity now to get their hands on the football, perhaps have a little bit of control. Unable to control the mark was Delamere, and she did well to shrug the tackle and does get the kick away. Also, another one of those Bendigo players named in the best from their win on Monday against Goulburn Murray, 66-14. But it's the skipper again, Mizzy, who's broken it up for Gippsland. Does get it inside 50. The numbers there with the team in the darker blue, of course, it is the Gippsland Power. In there was Pask trying to pick it up. The lone behind getter in this game so far. So it's good pressure early from the Pioneers. Or from Gippsland, and the Pioneers are doing an astute job in defence. Kick out, dropped by Mizzy. The skipper again for Gippsland. Called her name a few times. Of course, the umpires out there as well. Also some of the best developing umpires in the state. So they're also sort of on exhibition display here. Good smother That time came from Jade Smorenberg. For Gippy, a couple of stiff arms, not quite able to get through was Gypsy Quaife. And we're going to have another ball up on the broadcast side. So it's just Gippsland, the one behind so far in proceedings, but the Pioneers trying to sort of get themselves into this game. They get it into their attacking half for pretty much the first time today. Mizzy again there for Gippsland, nearly threw it out. Little handball from Morrissey for the Pioneers, and it's going to be a high contact free. It is going to the skipper, Taylor Mizzy, Community Club Sale City, Football Netball Club, Marist Scion College is where she attends school. As that kick comes inside 50 from Casey Johnson. One-on-ones down there. Pioneers dive in on the football. How's the umpire going to see this? Well, it doesn't matter. It's ripped away by Grace Scott. Opportunity here for Gippsland to potentially get the first major on the board. But again, Bendigo pretty good in defence. That's going to be picked up by Pask. Great tackle from behind. Just got the handball free. Pioneers have some of the numbers. Conway bursting through. Brushes off the tackler. Kick was smothered though. Has to follow up her own work and will. And then Soccer's off the ground smartly, and they've got the numbers here, Bendigo. Getting out there first is Jada Wright. And that's a really strong tackle on her, and it's going to be rewarded. And the ball was just thrown on the ground, so it's going to be 50 metres. Early mistake from the Pioneers, and, well, for the defenders down there who've done such a great job to start. They didn't want one of their midfielders or high half forwards giving away a 50-metre penalty. They're just going to run on here. And Gippsland Power have got the first goal of the day. So they have had the hot start, winning the toss, kicking to the left of screen with the wind. And as per usual, it always happens. One of the players that is not on the team sheet is the one to score. So I cannot tell you her name, unfortunately. I'll do my best to dig up and find it. Tends to happen, just running off the wing. And there's going to be a 5-6-5 warning here against Bendigo. They actually started the game with one less on the field. They had to bring her on right as proceedings kicked off. So Gippsland have had the good start so far. Despite coming off the loss on Monday, they look the better side as things have begun here. And there again, Casey Johnson. There's plenty of players around this football. It's going to be thrown up. Gippsland doing all the attacking. That's Layla Carroll, who was taken to ground. It's kicked off the ground by Gippsland. They won't be displeased with a forward 50 stoppage here, and that's what they're going to get. So over 8 minutes gone in this contest. 20-minute flats. Just some light drizzle trickling down. It's going to be sporadic through the day, although it's not too windy, thankfully. So at least up here, it probably is a bit down there, a bit blustery. It's a bit more open space as well with some of the construction going on the outer side, as you can see. As that's a kick that is going to result in a throw-in on the outer side. So Bendigo, yeah, really doing all the attacking work. As the rain just gets a little bit heavier. So not expecting to be ultra high scoring, but I'm expecting this game to open up. Gets out the back, and again, it's the Power who were there first. Picked up by Isabella Hill, not quite able to grab it cleanly though. Goes back in. In fact, that's Gemma Fisher, the number 8 for Gippsland Power. Still scramble. So many players around this football. It does come out by the Pioneers. Might have been a half throw, and that's not a half hold. That's going to be a free kick to Alicia Jamison. Again, another one of those named in the best for the Gippsland Power in that loss. It was 10-11-71 to 4 straight 24. So at least when they had their opportunities, they kicked pretty well. As that's Fisher dumping it inside 50. Throwing a boot at it and missing was Laura Soko. They do have the numbers. Well played by Imogen Brown to just scrub a kick out to half back. And there's a high contact free. Thought about the advantage, but a little fumble will negate that. Phoebe England now for the Pioneers. Kicks straight down the throat of Mizzy. Opportunity for the Power again to go back inside 50. It's a lovely kick up to centre half forward. Put the Moz on it almost. Brown came out to meet it at centre half back. Ground in pretty good nick. Down to the left, it's a couple of patches of mud, but nothing like what they would have played on in the 80s. It's still a good deck out here at Mars Stadium, of course. The AFL use this ground. The Coates Talent League use this ground, so there's plenty of footy still to be played on it today as well. Looks like it'll certainly hold up. Delamere's in there for the Pioneers, scrapping for it. It's at half forward, half back for the Pioneers, and they turn that away. Here's a one-on-one. Mizzy will be first to it, but just had a slight little fumble and then just bounced off her opponent. Certainly been the best for the Power so far. Trying to repel is Julia Taranto. Gippsland in the darker shade of blue. The Bulldogs colours, you could say, is Mizzy again. Once again breaks it up. Just sort of spirals one inside 50 and it works out. Taking the mark and going quickly is Hustwaite, and maybe should have gone back and had a shot herself. They've done pretty well to scramble here, the Pioneers, at the top of their defensive goal square, as they have all match so far. Would have liked to see Hustwaite just probably go back there and have a shot. 175 centimetres. It's great height. Put it on display there. Just read that ball well. Can anyone get a boot to ball here for either side? Almost a high tackle. There's Conway for the Pioneers, soccering off the deck. Taranto is wrapped up immediately, no prior opportunity. Umpire's going to call for a ball up. As we said, also these umpires in their development as well. Some of them quite experienced, but real opportunity for them to showcase that they could be ready for the next level as well. It's all about the pathways, the V-Line Cup. This opens up some opportunity for these girls to potentially be looked at for some proper Coates Talent League spots. It's about that time where they're starting to think about getting drafted. And a few of these players, I assume today, are probably going to end up in the AFLW system at some point. Here's Fisher for Gippsland. Very close to the boundary line. Good smother, but it comes out to Pask, who put a head over it and is going to get rewarded for a high contact free. Correctly adjudicated by the umpire. I wish I could tell you the umpires' names as well. I have their names, but not their numbers. Bit like BT. As a former umpire myself from the VAF, there's a few of them that'll be here today. Bit of an umpire's nuffy. It was sort of a weird group. We know all the AFL umpires. There's Bendigo again, really trying to do as much as they can to just stop this onslaught from Gippsland. But here's an opportunity. It comes out. It's a kick towards goal that is going to miss. It's Gypsy Quaife. Can't quite convert on that occasion for Gippsland. She kicked 2 on Monday, Gypsy, in that loss. 2 of the 4 goals that her team kicked. Not a bad effort, and subsequently named in the best. And Bendigo, just a little lack of cleanliness coming out of defence. It's good pressure from the Gippsland Power. Those forwards down the other end for Bendigo, standing there, arms crossed, probably freezing cold. Haven't had a lot to do, and they'll be just waiting for their opportunity, and it's a matter of can they take it, can they hold up before they get the win going the other way. Both teams got a bat in the same deck, of course. Fisher bursting through, again picked it up, cleaned up her own mess, but it's skewed off the side of the boot. Kicks it on the roof, does sneak in for a score. So behind for her, but she certainly looks a dangerous player. Out of the Phillip Island Junior Footy Club, Bass Coast College. As again, the Pioneers, not a great kick coming out of defence, and here's Gippsland opportunity. Shot on goal is missed again. That's 1-4 now for the Power. So despite all the dominance, they are unable to put it on the scoreboard. That's Sienna Searle. He puts that one through for a behind. Can the Pioneers hit a target coming out of defence? The kick was looking for Brown on the outer side, didn't quite find her. That's Imogen Brown in the bright pink headgear, cannot miss it, with the bright pink boots as well. Love to see that. Don't imagine, I think there'll probably be a darker shade of pink by the end of today's proceedings. We're going to have another ball up, so really struggling to get it outside of defensive 50, the Pioneers. And Gippsland doing all the attacking. They've just got to get it on the scoreboard. They deserve a couple extra majors in this quarter. And here's an opportunity again, a quick shot towards goal, and there it is on cue. They do get their second of the day. It's a good finish out of the pack. I'm not sure if it was Pask. Just going to have to wait for her to turn around, unfortunately. No numbers on the front. Kicked it behind earlier. I'm not sure if that... It wasn't Pask. I'll get it when she comes to the bench. Don't worry, the family members holding out, they know who it is, but I don't, so I'm just waiting for you. Want to correctly identify it. And there you go. Kira Johnson, the goal scorer for the Gippsland Power. And there's another 666 warning, although this time it's going against Gippsland. So that's already one each for both of these two teams, and there's a lot of confusion. It's all happening down the left end of screen as well, with the Pioneers in their defence and the Power in their forward line. So, yep, 6-6. I mean, we're going to see that come into play at some point, probably in this quarter, the way things are going. They've just got to sharpen up the rotations, both sides. A bit quicker to come off the bench. There's no ad breaks to wait for, so the umpires are getting on with it, as they should. And it bounces very kindly here for Pask as the Power go inside 50. It's another behind for her. Ava Pask, couple already. Out of Narnagoon FC. And again, the Pioneers have turned it over. The mark was paid. Subsequently playing on was Ellison Bickerton. Again, the Pioneers, they sold themselves into trouble, but they've somewhat worked themselves out of it. They've got the numbers in the scramble. Taranto gets it out. And then the kick came out from Lily Dunham. Here's a contest. Mizzy will arrive first. And again, the skipper breaks it up beautifully. Will kick up to half forward. It's a good-looking ball. It just gets over the head, so the wind probably is playing a bit of a factor. And again, the Power run onto the football. That's Quaife once again. Kicks at the top of the goal square. No mark taken. Defending down there is Ava Platfus. And is a holding the ball free kick. It's going to go the way of the Pioneers. Just diving on top of the football was Sienna Searle. So early stages, it is certainly all the Gippsland Power. But they won the toss, the win favouring that end. So I'm holding out hope for Bendigo, because they also did have a big win compared to Gippsland's big loss on Monday. The final day of the V-Line Cup. Had a break yesterday, these two teams. The Pioneers defeated Goulburn Murray 9-12-66 to 2-2-14. 4 players kicked 2 goals. Delamere, Young, Carr, Morrissey, Taranto and Morello all named in the best. And there's going to be a slight pushing free. And it's going to go the way of the Pioneers. Here is one of those players we just spoke about, Annabelle Carr. Kicks a really dangerous ball into the corridor. Mizzy again got the fist in. Fisher, the usual names for the Power in there, but Fisher had a fumble. And that's well broken up by Malia Alford, who gets the ball into the middle of the ground again. There's not enough support and numbers there for the Pioneers. Mizzy puts her head over it and then got driven into the deck. Did well to get the hands free. And the Pioneers do get the ball forward. They haven't had an inside 50 in this quarter, but this is the closest they've been. Immediately repelled, although it's a brilliant tackle, unrewarded. Fair enough too. Great tackle from Ella Tracy. Breaking up Dunham again. Scrubs a little ball to half forward. Can they finally get a ball inside 50 here? The Pioneers, you feel it's coming. It does. Only just about half a metre inside, and it's coming straight back out. And the Power do well. Matilda Percy takes the mark at half back, rolls and goes. Here's the corridor kick. Up to Quaife. Did well, gets back on her left. Kicks up. Out the back, Fisher not quite, although it might have hit her boot. And it's really worked kindly here. Opportunity for Amelia Henry. Couldn't pick it up. Fisher follows up. Sun's starting to come out here. It's a kick. It's a scrubby ball inside 50. Akiva Morrissey is the first to it. Another one in the headgear, the number 5 for the Pioneers. Takes her opponent, Grace Scott, to ground. And they break it up again, Bendigo. They're doing pretty well in defence. Despite conceding 6 scoring shots, they've actually defended better than that. They have been led off by some of Gippsland's errant kicking towards goal. And they are going to get a free kick here. Ruby Morgan out of Moama Football Club. Into the corridor. They just automatically look to the corridor. I like the aggressive nature of this game plan from the Pioneers, but Gippsland defending too well. They might have to adjust that. I don't think they will, dare I say, though. That's a strong tackle again on Scott as the siren sounds to end the first quarter. It was an entertaining one, that's for sure. It's the Pioneers who had to do a lot of defending. They conceded 6 scoring shots to zip, but they did pretty well. They're only down 16 points and they will have the breeze in the second quarter. As I said, my name's Harvey Constable. The only reason you're able to watch this is because Matt is here and he's showing you. But that is quarter time. So opportunity for these two teams to just sort of have a bit of a break. Let's go through some extra information about the V-Line Cup. So the teams that are represented, the GWV Rebels, the Geelong Falcons, South East Stingrays, Gippsland Power, Goulburn Murray, Bendigo Pioneers, and the NAB Bush Rangers. As we said, it's a 3-division competition, 2 for the boys and a girls division, so it'll be Div 2 boys next, Div 1 after that. 7 regions the teams are from, playing in a total of 21 matches over 3 days, and as I said, it's 70 emerging umpires who have been selected to officiate this competition, doing a mighty good job in that first quarter as well, might I say. It was first played in 1949, this competition, so this is the 76th edition, over 600 players featured. Dan Butler represented the V-Line Cup 14 years ago. He officially launched the competition last week, and it was so successful in this part of the world last year that they decided they were going to bring it back. And I'll tell you what, it's not a bad day. The sun is quite nice. It's warm. I assume that is not going to last very long in typical Ballarat fashion. As I said, my name's Harvey Constable. I apologise if my voice goes out at some stage today. I'm expecting it to. It's been a big week to be a Geelong supporter, and I think that sort of sold myself up the river with the way I was carrying on Friday night. Already carrying something. But a chance here, as I focus back on the game at hand for Bendigo, to just sort of reset. And they did pretty well, as I said, in that first quarter. The scoreboard is updated to 2-5-17, and the goal umpires have waved off on it. So that's correct, apparently. And according to my stat sheet, that is also correct. We might just go. I think we got a bit of time. Want to go to an ad break now? 45 seconds. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back here to Mars Stadium, day 3 of the V-Line Cup, the premier under-15 championship competition for country boys and girls footballers. Under-15s level, of course, this triple header today. The Gippsland Power against the Bendigo Pioneers in all 3 games, and this is the girls Division 1. If you're just joining us, Gippsland Power 2-5-17 at quarter time, did all the attacking. Bendigo yet to score, but we said there was a bit of a breeze favouring the left of screen, which was the way that Gippsland kicked in that quarter. Sort of seems to be blowing diagonally across the ground as well. Still favouring that side though. So we'll see what the Pioneers can pull out, because they defended pretty well, despite conceding what turned out to be 7 scoring shots. As the sun is out in Bendigo. There's a little gap through the clouds, in Ballarat I should say. That's probably not a good mistake to make. I don't think people in either part of those worlds would be like referring to as one or the other. We are in Ballarat. As we're just waiting for things to get back underway. There are an even amount of players on the field, unlike the start of the game. That was quickly rectified by the Pioneers, but what have they got in this second quarter? Trying to pick it up was Carr. Gets the ball forward. Interesting to see how many more inside 50s they get. They only had 1 in that quarter, the Pioneers, and it went in to about 48.5 metres out from goal, and that's not going to help because that kick has gone the wrong way. So Conway now trying to pick it up. It's well played. In fact, I called that Brown, but that's actually Georgia Cunningham in the bright pink headgear. It's broken up again. Opportunity for Quaife. Works out pretty well, and an opportunity for the Gippsland Power to get another one on the board. And Zoe Huswaite does just that. So, well, we said both teams have got a bat in the same deck, but, I mean, it looks like Gippsland potentially the stronger of the two sides here. At least early stages, but to be fair, that was not helped by the fact that the Pioneers kicked the ball the wrong way. You see it quite often, actually. Surprisingly often. But a great finish from Huswaite. Had an opportunity earlier to go back and have a set shot, but that time from the snap, very clean, very well executed. And Gippy have got another one, 3-5-23. Danger signs for the Pioneers in the light blue, as they do try and get the ball forward. Meg Young, haven't called her name too much, but she was in the bests in their game on Monday. But again, the Power break it up. They do kick out to an unguarded wing. Opportunity here. Cunningham in the pink headgear is going to get over and get it. Did well, had the composure to get the handball out. Out there to Alford. Scrapping hard for the football. Does pretty well, 3-on-1. And looks like it's going to be a ball up potentially here, although that was dragged in, but umpire crosses himself and just going to be a ball up in neutral territory. Carr trying to get the hit out going forward, and Taranto bombs it forward for the Pioneers. Can they get it inside 50 again? Not quite. Right on the edge of it. Oh, good tackle, but I reckon it was adjudicated a push as Grenis comes away with it. Kicks into the corridor. Big ball to win here. Morrissey did pretty well for the Pioneers. 1-on-1. It's flicked out. Conway at the back of the pack. Didn't get a lot of purchase on it. We'll get the football back almost. Picked up by Morrissey. Her kick does get forward, and all of a sudden it's a 3-on-1 ahead of the football. Great contest. Good bump from Grenis. Coming the other way for Gippy, and then we'll pick it up. Drive it clear. Mark not taken. Slippery conditions despite the sun being out. We've had sporadic rain so far. As Taranto goes in to pick it up and was held without the football. Well spotted by the umpire. And there is a player down behind play, and that is why the game has been stopped. It is one of the headgeared players. Potentially Alford, I want to say, for the Bendigo Pioneers, and she's down on the outer side. So we are going to have quite a lengthy stoppage. We've had a double whistle, which means the clock is officially stopped for the quarter, and hoping for the best out there. As I said, I believe it's Malia Alford. I can't confirm that just yet. Getting to her feet now. Not sure. Doesn't appear to be limping, so it is Alford. Maybe just a little bit of the wind knocked out of her, or potentially could be looking at a head injury, a brain injury. So she's going to have to make her way all the way across the ground. Sort of favouring the ribs potentially, so seems to be upper body at least. But yeah, it looks like holding the midsection a little bit, so perhaps just had the wind knocked out of her a little bit there, and the ribs are a little bit sore, but that was courageous. As Taranto gets the ball going for the Pioneers. As you said, they've had one inside 50 in this game. They almost had a second. Here we go. It does get inside. This was about as far as it got last time. And again, it's kicked away by the Power. Morrissey in a one-on-one there with Quaife. Taranto picks it up for the Pioneers. Just gets the handball out. It's just immense pressure in this contest from both teams. As Carr going to have an opportunity to pick up. He's tackled immediately by Mizzy. Strong tackle from the skipper for the Power, who will clear outside. Conway sat behind the ball. Dropped the mark. Has some support. It's Soko there. The two of them do pretty well to combine against their Gippsland opponents. Morrissey's over the top. She's taken to ground. We'll have another ball up. So they haven't even been close to scoring a goal, the Bendigo Pioneers. They haven't gone inside 30 yet in this game. There's a few calls for that stat to be brought into the AFLW as a more accurate representation. As Conway's kick was broken up, really good pressure applied on Johnson, who did get boot to ball, picked up by Soko. Conway in there again. On to Delamere, who gets a good shepherd from a teammate. Trying to scrap for the football, doing quite well. Good pressure from Ellison Bickerton. Comes out the back again. Conway is just sort of sitting out the back of all the packs, but just a little bit unclean that time. Here's an opportunity for Charlotte Dillo. Broken up again by the Pioneers. Dunham hasn't really had a clean possession yet. It's got a couple of scrubby kicks forward. Delamere, that's another scrubby kick. As that's going to go out of bounds, and the umpire's sprinting in, and he's going to pay insufficient intent. You don't see it often at this level. And I think that's pretty evident because none of the Pioneers players have any interest in going and running over to take that football. But they do have a free kick in their defensive side of the wing. What can they do with ball in hand? Haven't really seen too many clean passages of play yet. Good contest on the outer side there. Good sportsmanship as well from a couple of the players involved. That's socketed forward. What's this going to be? It's going to be a throw in. So that's a good result for the Pioneers there. Just gained a bit of meterage. Still yet to score, but they've been pretty competitive. I think they have earned themselves at least an opportunity at goal. As we said, it looks like it's going to be limited though for them, so they've got to take it when it comes. Carr and Meikle in the ruck. It's Carr who wins out. Just gets a little ball forward. This is the closest they've got to goal. Mizzy somehow got the hands free, looking for Fisher. Did well to draw the high contact. We'll get a free kick given away by Ella Tracy. So Fisher, this is probably one of the players you want with ball in hand. Good kick as well to half back. Are we going to see a clean passage of play here? We are. This is good football from the Power. Amelia Henry marks and rolls and then turns it over to Soko, who immediately goes back the other way. Over the head of a couple of players, gets to half forward. Mizzy again at the back. Certainly been the Power's best. Kicks up to a contest and not quite taking the mark in front was Jada Wright. Fisher goes in to pick it up. Does get the hands free again. It's a good kick. Not quite the mark taken for Searle. Her opposing number 13 in the headgear gives it off to another headgear wearing teammate. That's Cunningham. Socket off the ground by the Power. It just gains them a bit of time, but Taranto's there. Read it well off the boot. Not quite the mark though for England. Scooped up. Pioneers. Opportunity. A couple of players collide from the Power. Plenty of players around this football, as has been the case all day so far. Taranto at the back, clean. Gets the kick up towards half forward. Here's Macy Pinner. Sockers it off the deck. Chasing back Melina Briganti. As we said, another one in the best from Monday. Swings around. Lovely kick. Not quite the mark for Kira Johnson. It's going to be a free kick for a hold. It's going the way of the Pioneers. So here we go. They've got the ball to about 35. I still don't reckon they've gone inside 30. How far does this kick go? It doesn't go very far, but they are first to it. They do get the ball towards goal. The goalkeeper's back. Matilda Percy there. On the second last line of defence, you could say. Kicks out to a contest. Quaife, off hands, not quite. Does really well, trying to use the hips. Gets through the tackle up brilliantly and kicks a 50-50 ball. Conway had a bit of a fumble. Goes back to retrieve. Has a fumble again. England's there for support. Almost threw that one out. Socket off the deck by Wright. Nearly picked up by Young, who instead also sockers off the deck. They're inside 50 again, so they've just got a bit of the momentum here, the Pioneers. Good tackle from Meg Young. So the pressure's lifted. It's often where it starts. Had the last few inside 50s here, the Pioneers. But as we said, they haven't had a shot on goal yet. They haven't been close enough to. And there was a goalkeeper on the line before and that denied them that opportunity, the first one. Fisher trying to get through the tackle again. Got hands to it. Umpire said holding the football that time though. So the free kick's going to go to Jada Wright. Now the Redcliffs Footy Club also goes to Redcliffe Secondary College, and she's going the wrong way as well. That's 2 Pioneers players. Thankfully that time it was a free kick, so the umpire and everyone else around her was able to tell her to turn the other way and kick forward. Pushed out of it was Delamere. Pushed or held, take your pick. Now they've got a couple of extra numbers here, the Pioneers. Can Delamere find them? Has had 10 bests in 11 games for Echuca United this season. Again out the back, Percy, the goalkeeper, for power. Oh, and a beautiful mark from Quaife. Was out of position, did so well to take it. Has got a bit of meterage to take, doesn't take it. Does with the kick, and uncontested mark for Kira Johnson, who kicked a goal in that first quarter. Rolls and goes. A couple of the Pioneers players spoil each other. Not quite able to track it is Dillo. Soko's in there. So was Ava Platfus. And holding free kick to Gippsland. Alicia Jamison. Kicks up to the contest. Good body work from Searle with the power. Morrissey had a bit of a fumble, so when Bendigo have had a half an inch of space, they haven't been able to be clean, and Gippsland have. That's probably the difference between the two at the minute, just the cleanliness with the football in hand. There's some of it as we speak, but that's an excellent tackle. Rewarded. Eve Jukes, another one out of the Redcliffs Footy Club. Great tackle, and here we go. Opportunity. They get it into the middle. Jada Wright. Bounce kindly for it. Kicks up. Good to see Alfred back out there. Obviously did just have the wind taken out of her. It gets all the way out the back. Kate Batchelor dribbles one towards the goals, and it's going to be a throw in near the behind post. Not a bad result at all there for the Pioneers with 9 minutes to go in this quarter. Opportunity for them to potentially get their first look at goal here. High throw in, good one. Carr whacks it forward. Power again, break it up. Kick's probably not gone far enough. It hasn't. But Greenish was aware of that and gets the ball outside defensive 50. Fisher in there again for the power. Has to do the tackling that time as Young got the hands free. Does get a kick inside 50. Almost worked for Carr. It's trickling. Dangerous ball here. Gippsland have got to defend. They do. They have done so well so far in this quarter. Still yet to have a genuine shot on goal here, the Pioneers. Quarter and a half through the day. Here's an opportunity. Carr, just took way too long grabbing it out of the ruck. Couldn't get boot to ball in time. And that was a pretty good opportunity. Again, it's sort of a half chance, but those are the ones you've got to take when you've had, well, no opportunities to start. And that's a slightly risky kick. Quaife was there, off hands of Mizzy. And here's a chance, Jamison again, centre half back. Not quite, as that's almost high, not quite. There's the power, there's that unnamed number 4. Kicked a goal in the first quarter for them. Apologies to any of her family and friends watching. Don't have her name on the team sheet. Mizzy goes and picks it up, and is tackled immediately. Good, strong one. It's good, fair, hard footy out here at Mars Stadium. The sun has disappeared slightly, but there's no rain so far in this quarter at least. We only had little spots in that opening term for about 25 seconds each as Fisher picks it up, kicks up looking for Pask. This is the first time it's really been close to Gippsland's goal for a long time. Well broken up that time by Ava Platfus. Off to Conway, who just sort of tumbles one forward. It's a good kick. It's going to work out here just for the Pioneers. It was a 3-on-1 though. The power had the numbers. Good tackle from Alfred. Just got slipped though. England did get a kick forward. Good pressure. Alfred going to be rewarded. Just got an extra behind the ball here though, Gippsland. So They have the numbers. Here's a kick up to Carr. Not quite. Has had a couple of opportunities. Just shoved her opponent out of the way. Broke the tackle. Gets it on. Here's the shot on goal. And it's going to register a score. So they are on the board. Gippsland Power. Rather the Bendigo Pioneers. I think it was Kate Batchelor who got boot to ball there for a minor score across the face of goal. At least it trickled in. That's their first look at the big sticks. It was only a half chance. Picked up that time by Alford, who would deserve this, and gets it, although it was touched off hands. Oh, that sort of sums up the day for the Pioneers. Touched off the boot. Malia Alford went off the ground about probably 10 minutes ago. It's come back on. Has been a ball of energy for the Pioneers, who, like the first quarter, Gippsland are struggling to get the ball out from the kick-ins, like the Pioneers struggled to do in that opening term. Again, it works out pretty well, though, for Gippsland. They're a bit cleaner that time. That kick comes towards the boundary line. First two, it's going to be Delamere. Did well, just got rid of her opponent. Not once, but twice. Couldn't get rid of the third. Just got boot to ball. It's enough for the umpire to call play on. Now the scramble ensues. Numbers with the power out the back. A lot of time there for Johnson to swing around. Get a scrubby little ball. Gets out the back. Unkind bounce. Sienna Searle. They've got the numbers. Good Shepherd as Morrissey is under immense pressure. It's going to be turned over. Bickerton also has a bit of time, but it was touched off hands. Pasca's in there. But Dunham will get the ball forward for the Pioneers, up to centre half forward. Again, just not quite clean enough. It's been the story for the team in the light blue today. We will get a ball up in centre half forward for them. Just got a one-on-one deep, so if they can get the ball with enough purchase on it to get down there, it's going to be dangerous. And Carr again, just a little bit lazy, dropped it out of the ruck. Has had chances in this quarter, Annabelle Carr. Certainly looks a player. And there's going to be a high contact free kick. So it is going to go the way of Harper Delamere. As we said, 10 games, or 11 games, 10 best for Echuca United. Here's an opportunity. Gets out the back. Alford's down there again. They have the numbers here, the Pioneers, but they just can't quite get a shot on goal. Good tackle from Mizzy. Alford's in there again. Just dropped it. Was saying that she was held. Goes back and picks it up. Then lays a tackle. Gee, she's been good since coming back onto the ground. Malia Alford. Out of White Hills Footy Club. And just a note, these players that you're watching today, born in 2010, that makes me, as a 04 baby, feel quite old myself. Getting to that stage now. As Soko just passed it to herself. Couldn't quite claim possession, but just did enough for Delamere to get involved. Now England. Did well to get the arms free. Has to go back in and get it. Is one of several players in there, and the umpire circling here. He's going to pay holding the ball. It's going to be a free kick going the way of the Pioneers. It's Soko, who's been pretty impressive down in defence, and again just rolls and goes, kicks, looking for a teammate, but it wasn't her best. Good tackle on Mizzy, almost a dual tackle. Ruby Morgan is in there. Again, Alford's gone down, holding the face this time. She's in the wars. Mizzy just arched the back. Got it out. They've got to talk here, the power. They just did enough. Kira Johnson. Can she roll and go? She does. She's looking into the corridor. It doesn't work. It was the right idea. Just didn't have the execution. Broken up by Dunham of the Pioneers. And that's a good kick up to centre half forward. Macy Pinner. About 70 from home. So they're probably about 3 kicks. Although, maybe just 2 because it's worked kindly. Nice bit of candy sold. Ruby Morgan shoots for goal and misses. In fact, it might have been Kate Batchelor again. So that's her second behind. She's had a couple of opportunities. Less than 2 minutes to go in this opening half. First of 3 games, of course. As Mizzy is the target there and juggles the mark. All 3 games will feature the Bendigo Pioneers in the Gippsland Power. That kicks only as far as England. So late in the piece, can they get a goal and just get something to go forward? Heading into half-time, Mizzy behind the ball. Inspirational from the skipper. Just been a brick wall, the last line of the Gippsland Power defence. And that's a lovely bit of use. Out to Johnson. Mizzy's been fantastic in this contest. Johnson very close to the player on the mark. Morrissey was in front, got hands to it, but it's broken up by Jamison, who goes for a little bit of a trot. Up the wing, good contest again, and then beautifully roved off hands by Meikle. Her kick up to Cunningham, though, who breaks it up. Kicks to a contest, gets through hands. Delamere didn't quite get through the tackle, just did. Off to Taranto, the 1 and 2 combine. Can Taranto get it under her control? She can't. Comes back into Delamere, went with the fend, and it's a beautiful tackle, well executed, and lovely sportsmanship as well. Casey Johnson, fierce tackle, just helped their opponent up. And then again, goes corridor. Both of these 2 teams, just no fear whatsoever. Love to see it, just kicking into the corridor, but the Pioneers have the numbers, although it's not the best kick off the boot. Good pressure, though, applied. It's going to be a high contact free, though. Amelia Henry out of the Warrener Junior Footy Club. Kicks inside 50. The Sirens going to beat the Gippsland Power, who were only able to add 1 major in that quarter, but they still win it because the Pioneers only mustered up 3 behinds. That is half-time here on Sportscast Australia. It's V-Line Cup Day 3. My name's Harvey Constable. We're going to take a break for half-time. We'll come back with the second half action. It's girls Division 1. The Bendigo Pioneers against the Gippsland Power. It's Gippsland by 20 at half-time. welcome back here to Mars Stadium. It is a triple header that we have for you, the Gippsland Power and the Bendigo Pioneers. And at half-time, it is the Gippsland Power by 20 points. It is seemingly a breeze. It's blowing across the ground, but it was favouring the left of screen. Both teams have now kicked that way, and Gippsland were the ones who made the most of it in that opening quarter. And unfortunately for the Pioneers, they weren't really able to do the same. Just the 3 behind, so the 1 goal in that quarter. So the goal scorers, Sadie Stevens was the number 4 for the Gippsland Power, so did get that one. Kira Johnson and Zoe Hustwaite. That's for the Power, and there are none for the Pioneers, as we said. But the second half's underway. Can the Pioneers turn around their fortunes? Certainly hope so from a neutral perspective. They've been better than what the scoreboard would suggest. Straight away coming through is Taranto, and Young as well gets the boot to ball. They didn't have, well, they only had 1 inside 50 when they kicked this way in the first quarter, the Pioneers, but they do get the ball forward straight away, but unable to go inside 50. Here's a contest. Carr did well to put the body in, just did enough as well against Quaife. Goes in and picks it up. There's Annabelle Carr. Picked up by Taranto, who's tackled by Mizzy. Skipper for the Power, who was sensational in every facet in that opening half. Taylor Mizzy out of Sale City Junior Football Club. As the kick comes up for the Pioneers, up to half forward, but again they break it up. Potentially a high fin, not quite. It's going to be locked up here. So can they change their fortunes, the Pioneers? Certainly hope so. Gippsland have been very strong so far in this contest. As we've said, if you just joined us, these two teams played on Monday, not against each other. Gippsland played against South East Stingrays. They got done by 47, and the Pioneers defeated Goulburn Murray by 52. So it almost looks as if it's the other way so far with the way this has kicked off. A slightly sluggish start. We had some rain during the half-time break, but the sun's come back out, so as we said, it's going to be on and off all day. My name's Harvey Constable, and as I said earlier, the reason you can see it is because Matt's doing some lovely work on the camera. All on Sportscast Australia. It is the V-Line Cup, the final day. It's been a 3-day competition out here in Ballarat. Quaife is in there, had prior opportunity there potentially, not quite though, says umpire. So very stoppage to stoppage start to this third quarter. Delamere not quite able to get it under control. I will call for it again. It's probably one of the best in that first half for the Pioneers. Here she's again trying to burst through. Knocked out. Opportunity for Fisher, who was also probably second best behind this player, Mizzy, on the ground almost, let alone for Gippsland. Mizzy so clean again, gets around a couple, not quite the second. Really good tackle from Meg Young, who is rewarded with the football. Got the socks up, don't see it too often nowadays. Well, just looking around, there's plenty of them from the Pioneers. I don't know if that was potentially a coaching message. Roll the socks up, get him done. Well, it seems to be working so far. Cunningham's been thrusted forward, and here she is, the bright pink headgear. Gets the handball away. Well done, though, by Gippsland to break it up. It's a dangerous kick, though, from Percy, who was great in that first half. So was Johnson. Couldn't get it under her control initially, but does eventually. Good tackle, Taranto. And then tried to lay the second one, but it slipped. But that's good ball use. Out to the outer side for Dillo for the Power. And the kicks along the line. Pask has a slight fumble. Soko's in there as well. Pask takes her to ground. Alford arrives. Might be Morrissey even. There's Mizzy. Just everywhere for Gippsland. Again tries to break the second tackle. Just took a little bit too long to dispose of it and is gone holding the football. Scramble again on the outer side. Both teams' pressure, as is always the case at this sort of level of girls football, is just immense. And when the conditions are a little bit slippery as well, it means clean footy is not always the way, but that was clean from Young. And the Pioneers kicks up to a contest. Both players got hands to it. Fisher's in there. Ball just sort of sits for her. She just reads it better than anyone, seemingly, her and Mizzy for the power. Conway got hands to it just. Picked up by Tracy. Didn't get a lot on that. We're going to have another ball up. So we've nearly elapsed 5 minutes in this third term, and well, really it's been played almost exclusively between the arcs. Conway nudges it forward. Almost again, Tracy. Just a carbon copy, and here's one of those free kicks that you like to see the umpires just breaking it up, getting rid of the congestion, and Tracy didn't even know it was her football, but she's got it. 60 from home. Can she find a target inside 50? Not quite. It was a good looking kick though. The power, have the numbers. Fisher, this is sort of her bread and butter it seems. Bends down, picks it up so clean. He's going to have to get rid of it here. Didn't. Beautiful tackle. Conway and Carr. They could raffle it. It's Conway who's going to pick it up and take the free kick. Great pressure from the Pioneers. Is that going to inspire them perhaps a little bit? Mizzy, again, barely fumbles. Just got that one out. Jamison's in there again. And it's a tackle that was just in the back from Carr. The right decision from the umpire. I have to say they've been sensational so far. Of course, as we said, there's 70 that have been picked for this V-Line Cup, also in their development sort of stage, just developing umpires looking to hit the next pathway. It was a really good shepherd. That's allowed Gippsland to get the ball forward. Bit of a falcon coming off half-back for Eve Jukes. Dare I say, didn't quite get the Jukes out. Needed to. But Gippsland, they've scrapped the ball up to centre half forward here. Pioneers again repel, just for the time being though. There is that number 4, that's Sadie Stevens. Kicks inside 50. Pask just got in front of the pack, gets the ball forward, and will be a throw in, you would imagine. Yep, it is going to be. So again, not a bad result for the team doing the attacking to the left of screen. And of course, here's the Gippsland power in this quarter. Construction still going on while the games are going on as well out here at Mars Stadium. I'm not sure what the capacity is actually going to get to. Just some redevelopment works. Remember, I can't actually remember if there was a stand on there last year. But it looks like they're probably going to be bigger if there ever was. Now the power. Almost come away with it. It's a scrap at half forward. Picking up again was Dillo. He's been pretty good on that outer side, but it was broken up by the Pioneers. But a rundown tackle from who else? Mizzy. What a champion. Said before that at the start of the game, wouldn't be surprised to see a handful of these players in an AFLW system at some point in their football careers, and this one would be right at the top of that list. And as per usual, put the Moz on it. It wasn't a great kick, but it's going to work out, although the kick was an errand one from Quaife. That's her second behind of the day. As we said, kick 2 in the loss. 2 of the 4 goals was part of the best. Mizzy certainly part of the best in that game as well on Monday. That 47-point loss to the South East Stingrays as the Pioneers. Well, it was the right idea. The space was there to be taken, but the bounce wasn't executed. Chloe Morello. Certainly the right idea, but just had to probably know the conditions a bit better. The ball wasn't going to bounce back to her. There she is at the back, does well. And we're going to have another stoppage here. The power hunting in numbers. Yeah, can smell another one here. We haven't had one for quite some time in this game. The power were the only ones to kick a goal in that second quarter against the Breeze. Dillo again, very clean. That's been the difference, as we said. Mizzy shrugs the tackler. Can she get a shot on goal? Not quite. It was an attempt at goal. It's actually going to work okay. And it's Through for a behind. I'll put that one down to her. Won't say it's rushed. Might have touched hands, but we'll give it to her. She's on the board as the drizzle again comes down. It's not going to make it easier at all for the Pioneers, who have really struggled from this position of the ground when trying to get the ball out of defence. And again, an opportunity for a mark not taken by Matilda Wyatt. Stevens picks it up. Good ball. Again, hands to it for Searle, who's had an almost day, Sienna Searle. Mizzy, good tackle from Morrissey, and umpire says ball up. Just a tick over 10 to go in this third term. Again, Gippsland banging on the door. Pioneers just haven't had an answer for them. Morrissey dragged that in. She's going to be gone. Is she? Not quite. Umpire certainly thought about it. Carr down to Young. They do get about 5.5 metres on it, and they will get it outside defensive 50 now, the Pioneers. So they've stood up tall for a lot of this game. They just haven't been able to get the ball forward with enough. Conway almost ended up kicking to herself. Picked up by Wyatt. Back to Conway, who gets the ball forward. And can't quite wrangle it in. Is Melina Briganti. It's a neutral territory throw in. Plenty of friends and family out here as well at Mars Stadium. It's a wonderful facility here. It's top notch. Quaife did pretty well to shrug the tackler, but the kick was smothered. Fisher was just met immediately by a couple. Goes in to get it again. There's a couple of really, really good players out there for the Gippsland Power. Fisher and Mizzy is sensational. Inspirational. Again, really good tackle from Tracy. Not rewarded this time, and she's come off a little bit worse for wear. Again, Fisher somehow gets hands to it. Comes out. Tracy just holding the midsection in quite a bit of distress coming off. Thankfully close to the bench. That was courageous. Just went in real hard with the tackle. And I assume just inadvertently was knocked in the guts perhaps. For Gippsland, as we said, the last sort of 7 or 8 minutes just banging on the door. You feel the goal's coming, but they haven't been able to get close enough to get a good look at the sticks. Again, a strong tackle. Fisher, body work is good. Does somehow shovel it out. Young's in there, did really well, got away. Off to Conway now. Off a couple of steps under immense pressure, can only kick it as far as the Gippsland Power player. And that player is Matilda Percy, who's been sensational behind the football as well. And that's a strong mark. Isabella Hill. Almost inside the centre circle. Runs to the fat side. Good looking ball. Mark was dropped though by Scott. Picked it up and got it inside 50 though. Soko, the 4 and 5 combine, although Soko's handball didn't quite hit the target. Bit of a fumble. Good tackle from Sienna Searle. As I said, you feel the Gippsland goal is just around the corner here. Here's an opportunity for it to come via Hill. It gets out the back. It's off hands. Can someone soccer it through? They can't. So, Izzy Hill, that's a minor score for her. Out of Bairnsdale Football Netball Club. And as has been the case so far today, the Pioneers, this has been their real struggle to get it out of this position. And there it is again, Sienna Searle in a set mark inside attacking 50. Too far out to score. So pops the kick short. Good contest between Quaife and Dunham there. Quaife and Dunham even. And it's out for a throw in, close to the behind post. Good result again for the Power. This wispy sort of drizzle is coming down. It's nothing too heavy, it's just consistent at the minute. Very high throw in, another good one. Carr gets it down for the Pioneers. Out of the ruck. That's Jamison in there. Mizzy taken high. So an opportunity for Taylor Mizzy here, the skipper. It's probably looks, with all the leading players, to be maybe just a bit beyond her, but if there's anyone that has shown they are capable today, it's probably her. So the skipper to finally break the deadlock. It's a good looking kick. It's a great kick. Taylor Mizzy, if she was not already best on ground, I reckon you can just about put down the glasses. She could not play in the last quarter and she'd still be just about best on. And Gippsland, as I was saying, that goal really felt like it was coming. They've absolutely earned it. The Pioneers have been brave in defence, but they just haven't had enough. And Mizzy absolutely thumped that through. Back in the middle. Who can win it out of the centre? It's Alicia Jamison who's trying to do it for the power, but Meg Young broke it up and got the handball off to Dunham. Up to centre half forward. It was a slip and a soccer, which actually worked well for the power. But Delamere is there first. It kicks only as far as Jade Smorenberg at centre half back, but they've lost possession. Potentially an opportunity here. Not quite. Good intercept mark taken. Beth Grenis, and just pumps that outside defensive 50. A really good long kick. And they're out here. The power. They can roll and go. Sienna Searle again does. They've just got the extra over the top once again. Grace Scott gets it under her control. Snaps around. 2-on-1 in the pockets. Oh, brilliantly defended. That was a challenging situation to be in. And somehow the Pioneers just hanging on here. Brilliant spoil from Macy Pinner out of Sandhurst Football Club. Again, that sun's sort of coming through a little bit. Can they get another one here, the power, late in the quarter? 3.5 to go in it. It's a very shallow throw in. Almost worked for Hustwaite in her advantage, but she couldn't quite take possession. Another throw in, same spot. See if this one gets a bit more purchase on it. It's a much better throw in that time. Gives them a chance to have a look in front of the big sticks, the power, but Dunham got it out to Morrissey, who just gets it quickly on the boots. Conway's out there first. Got a good shepherd from a teammate. Was just a little bit of a fumble again. It's just been the word of the day for the girls in the light blue. Just been too fumbly compared to their opponents. Stevens for the power did have a fumble of her own and nearly created a turnover, but Fisher clean enough. But it wasn't a very clean kick. It's getting just a little bit scrappy. Gets through the legs of Carr, just clean bowled it. Dunham's in there again, try and pick it up. Scrapping hard is Dunham. Dillo now, trying to get away from the tackle, not quite. Gets through the hands of Carr, hands it to ground. It's probably a good decision, actually, just to let her teammates pick it up and get tackled. Smart from Annabelle Carr. 2 minutes to go in the third term. 28-point margin for Gippsland. And there's going to be a block. That's a good decision from the umpire. Initially called play on, but saw it and Carr was certainly impeded with, so gets on the right boot. It wasn't her best kick. Broken up by Amy Conlon. She's in there again. Good second effort. Out to Scott once more. Now Dillo gets onto it, gets the handball over the top. They've just got to finish off the good work, and they can't. Again, how good is the defence from the Pioneers on the last line? Macy Pinner with a goal-saving tackle. It almost turns it over immediately. Hustwaite broke it up. It's off hands. Contest at the top of the goal square. Can Gippsland get another one? Not quite. Again, I'm not sure how Bendigo are holding on, but they are. Casey Johnson had a slip. Got it free though. Conway's out there with Donlan. Great shepherd from Conway. And then a great tackle from Donlan. Umpire said a little bit dangerous. And just based on the way their opponent is making her way to the ground, I'd say that's the correct decision. They have not missed anything today, the umpires. This crew have been fantastic. So it gets kicked out to the wing. It's turned over. Johnson for the power, gets it inside 50 again. It's off hands. Hustwaite's down there. So Scott, it's Scott who picks up and has a shot on goal. Can't register a score. And that'll pretty much be the last action of this third quarter. If you're Bendigo, you're almost having just a sort of pretend fumble here to make sure you don't have to get the ball back into play. Because you don't want to turn it over, they nearly have, but good spoil that time from Quaife. But that is the siren, and that is three-quarter time. So the Power just added one major to that half-time score. And a couple of behinds. It was 20... What was it at half-time? I think it was 20 points, and it's 28 in that three-quarter time. And so we're just going to have a quick break. It's the 29-point margin here. The Gippsland Power well on top over the Bendigo Pioneers. We'll just take a quick break and we'll be back shortly for the final quarter. Welcome back here to Mars Stadium. My name's Harvey Constable. You are tuning in to the final day of the V-Line Cup, Premier Under-15s Championship competition for the country footballers in Victoria. As we just have a slight delay as a player at the wrong end of the ground. We've seen once a player kick the ball the wrong way, once a player line up the wrong way. Now we've had a player line up the wrong end. The fourth quarter is about to begin. It's been all Gippsland power in this contest. The Pioneers have been pretty brave, but they just haven't had an answer up for the team who are kicking to the right of screen in this final quarter, who will expect to probably end this carnival 1-1 after their loss to the South East Stingrays on Monday. They've been very, very strong today. Just the Pioneers haven't had too many answers, as I said. They are inside 50 opening stages here, the Pioneers. It's something that we haven't seen really in this contest, is them winning the first inside 50 first clearance. It's a good result for them. Sun is shining now. We've actually got a bit of blue sky. The sun has been shining sporadically, but with not much blue sky, as that handball's a little bit too high for Cunningham. Real scrap. Side attacking 50 for the Pioneers. Umpires circling. It does come out. Quick kick forward is smothered. Here's a chance for Carr. It's been an almost day for the ruck from Bendigo. And it's an opportunity for a goal, and it's Conway. She deserves that. She's been really, really impressive today, Charlie Conway, in defence. And, well, that's the first goal of the game. And I said very early in this quarter that Gippsland might be ending this carnival 1-1. That would be one of the worst commentators' curses of all time if Bendigo were to come back and win. But they do have the first on the board in this quarter, their first of the game. And in a flash, we're ready to go back in the middle. About 30 seconds. 20 minutes flat, of course, so there'll be no sort of worries about what the clock's doing. They will know how much time they've got. And Conway goes inside 50 again. Well repelled that time, though, from Grenis, who's had a couple of good moments down in defence. And kicks it up to Quaife, who just takes the mark on her chest, rolls and goes. The ball does bounce back to her. Kicks up to centre-half forward. Gets through hands. Dunham is back there for the Pioneers. Here's the corridor kick. We've seen both teams try that all day. Broken up by the power. And here's Mizzy. Kicked a lovely goal from a set shot. The skipper in that third quarter has ample time and space to get this ball to where she wants it to go inside 50. It's off hands. It's out the back. Here's an opportunity to seal it. Not quite. The Pioneers, again, as they have been all day. They've been astute in defence despite conceding a much bigger score. They've defended so much better than the score suggests. It's just been the weight of entries and the amount of pressure they've been under down there. That's why they are behind, but it's 23. So 4 straight goals. Lee Matthews' rule says it's well and truly on, but Mizzy might be about to make him need 5 for her second. Oh, it hits the post. Let's just talk about the margin. It could be a handy point. It's out to 4 straight kicks. That's 1 goal, 2 now for the skipper, Taylor Mizzy. But we'll see if they've changed anything from the kick-ins of Pioneers, because this has been what they've struggled with all day. Again, nearly a turnover. It gets through hands, though, so it's a good result for the Pioneers. Gets out to the outer side, and we're going to have another ball up, I'm going to imagine, although no, because Conway ripped it away and got it up, looking for England. Bounced off her chest, did well, really good smother. Comes from Smorenberg, again, another one of those who's had some nice moments behind the footy for Gippsland. Cunningham out to meet it there. Did pretty well. He's going to have to track it back. Great pick up. Gets a handball free. Good pressure, though, from Power. Bursting away is Alicia Jamison. Not the required journey, though. But it is thumped back inside 50. Can the Pioneers get 2 here? It gets out the back to Carr. It just didn't quite sit for her, but she did enough body work to allow her teammate to go in and get it. Then picks it up herself, gives it off to that teammate. And they probably don't want to see this through here, Gippsland. Well defended. They kept it in. They keep the margin at 4 straight kicks. But that's not the best kick. It's a very dangerous one. The Pioneers, can they break it up? Mizzy was there. It was fantastic work before. Mizzy, made a couple of the her opponents collide, and oh, that's a big shepherd as well. It might have been slightly high. As Mizzy worked the ball into the middle of the ground, and Quaife has a paddock around her. This time it doesn't bounce back, and Soko rushes in. Searle gets the ball out. And it's good pressure. Searle's going to be back in again to compete. Handball comes free. Dillo flicks it back to Mizzy. Again, the play you want with the football. Didn't dispose of it. Umpire said did get a handball. Had a better view than I did. We'll take the benefit of the doubt. And there's a real scramble. The umpire circling. Ball up. Top of the 50. There was a couple of massive collisions a moment ago. Mizzy split them in half, and there was a big shepherd behind the play. The one being shepherded, I believe, was Wyatt, and she did come to the bench, but she didn't look in any way hurt, which is good to see. It's good, strong, hard football between these two sides today. It's been played in fantastic spirit. Another ball up, so they're happy to do this, Gippsland. They're happy to just play this way for the rest of the game, just stoppage. It's one thing in women's footy that they're so strong at, is just that when they need to lock it down, they can lock it down. And here's Mizzy. Well, this will be the exclamation point for her second. It gets out the back, and it trickles over. Taylor Mizzy was in the best on Monday for her side, is the best for her side today. Gets the margin out to 5 goals. She has her second. Gippsland their 5th, and that'll just about slam the door shut. So had a win early when she won the toss and kicked to the left, chose to kick to the left. And they made the most of it in that quarter, at least in terms of weight of scoring shots. It was 2-5 they had, so they wasted opportunities, but it was 7 scoring shots to zip, so it wasn't a bad result. And she has been sensational, running in off half forward here. Gets through again a couple of tacklers, but a couple of times she's tried to do too much, but that time it worked. That was Sadie Stevens, and here's Conway, that lone goal scorer for the Pioneers, who's mainly been playing in defence today. Has done a great job of it. There's Mizzy again, gets it off to Dillo. There's no one in the goal square. Doesn't get out the back far enough though. So with just under 13 minutes to go, the Pioneers looking to have some clean use out of defence, which we haven't seen from them all that often today. And again, a full fault of their own kicking. Morrissey is there first. Was just knocked off the football fairly. Through the hands of Mizzy. Now Briganti as well. Soccers it forward. And there's Taranto. They just have the numbers. Dunham. Been pretty impressive as well for the Pioneers. Off to Delamere. But the umpire from way off, he had a perfect view of it. He's called it a throw. And it's going the way of Gippsland Power. It's Huswaite who's going to be the recipient of it. He had a similar view to the angle that I had, the umpire there, but I reckon he would have seen it much better than I did. And so he's paid a throw, and Mizzy, oh, that was courageous. Conway was charging like a train the other way. And we've seen her kick from maybe about 7 metres closer in earlier in the game, so just a little bit beyond her, so she opted to pass it off. Again, opts for the fend, almost dropped it before she fended, which is why she got away with that. Conway now. Probably has been the Pioneers' best. Just ripped her opponent off the football. Ball up. Good crowd in, friends and family as we say, to support the two teams. Of course, it is a triple header. Boys Division 2 up next. Division 1 will be the final game of the day. It's a 12 p.m. start for the Div 2, 2 p.m. for the Div 1. And as I said before the game, my throat was already hanging on for dear life before I arrived. So if I do have some sort of coughing fit or you just hear me go quiet for a little bit, that's my throat giving way. And this has been a great contest between the girls Division 1 sides, the Bendigo Pioneers and the Gippsland Power. As we said, this is the 76th edition of the V-Line Cup in Ballarat for the second year running. Dare I say, might be here again next year. Wonderful venue. Pleasure to be a part of the coverage. Scramble on the outer side again. Ball up close to the construction. And touch wood, the weather at the moment has turned it on for us out here. On the outer side still, very close to the boundary line. Pask was taken in the tackle and Conway shows that burst of speed. Just grubbers one inside 50 and Fisher has been clean all day, but that was the first time really she wasn't. And she's put herself under pressure. Can the Pioneers get one? They will get a free kick. It's a hold. Matilda Wyatt, can she hit a target and give her team a chance to score again? They're probably too far behind in the game, but they'd love another one. It's not a great kick though. And it's going to work out for Gippsland. Fisher turned back into traffic nearly and kicks and finds a player, but it was touched off the boot. So they have to roll and go. 2-on-1 in the corridor. Mizzy expected to win that, and she didn't. It was so well defended by Ella Tracy, who's also had a couple of moments. And she wins a free kick. She earned that for her effort in that one-on-one contest. Ella Tracy, out of Rochester Footy Club, also at Rochester Secondary, up to find Conway, who's really found herself involved in this final quarter and throughout the day. Kicks it into Fisher on the mark and then takes it to ground. Good follow-up from Conway, made up for the mistake. Nearly going to be involved again here, but the power has just been so clean on this part of the ground. And so often they have had Gypsy Quaife in this position to take that relieving mark as they come out of defence. And as I said through the day, both teams have just looked to come corridor immediately. I love the aggressive nature of this. The game plans of both of these two teams are just throwing caution to the wind. Regardless of game state, the first kick is corridor immediately. Taranto picks it up, just scrubbers the ball forward. It's going to work out okay. Britton went and picked it up, was taken to ground. A little bit sore, but we'll probably get to her feet, I think. Cunningham's in there, the bright pink headgear, the bright pink boots, and it's going to be a ball up. Tick over 8 to go. 5-goal margin. Gippsland Power 39, Bendigo Pioneers 9. It's probably about the right margin. Conway looking for a second. It's touched off the boot. It does get out the back. Even if this goes through, it will be behind. Can someone soccer it? They can't. And unfortunately, because it was touched off the boot, it's another minor score. Conway, what a quarter. Charlie Conway at a Wooranen Football Netball Club. A Wooranen Football Club even. Turned 15 4 days into 2025. It's a good intercept mark taken by Ella Tracy, who has been impressive. Another one. Gives it off to Conway. Runs around Jezza style. Nice kick as well. Oh, the mark dropped though by Britton. Conway follows up. She's certainly been the best for her team. Britton will apply the tackle, but the kick still comes out. Does get out the back. Meikle just floats one. Oh, great mark from Sienna Searle. That was not an easy ball to track in the air. Rolls and kicks. Dillo was one of the targets. Scott was the other. Neither of them marked it. Scott was the main culprit. Picked up by Tracy. Gets through the hands of her opposing number 10, Conway, unable to get enough time to get that kick away. Soko this time does go back off her mark, has tended to play on today, the left footer. And I don't know if her preferred kick is a torpedo, but she's hit a couple today. It almost drops the ball forward. Not conventional, and didn't work on that occasion. She might get a second go here. Not quite. Here's Huswaite, pushed off it. Good pressure from England. Yeah, bring back the barrel. Maybe Laura Soko is attempting to do so. Did make her under-18s debut earlier this season for Golden Square Football Club at the age of, well, she's actually still 14. That's an incredible effort. Bursting through some tackles there is Delamere. Did really well. Gets it out to Laura Soko. So opportunity. Let's see what she does here. There's a drop punt, and it's a good one. First time she's really brought that out today. Picked up by Tracy. They threw a boot at it there, Gippsland, and it's actually worked out really well. Fisher again, just a slight fumble once or twice and lets her opponents in. It's been the real difference between the two teams. They've both been a little bit fumbly, but Gippsland have just been cleaner when they've had to be. Mizzy. Well, umpire said it was not 15 as the mark was taken. Bit stiff. Just floats one. Outside defence. There's a strong tackle applied again by Tracy. And everyone thought it was holding the ball. It wasn't. Umpire said ball up. About 55 from home here for the Pioneers. Picked up by Stevens, was really met with some force by Conway. Out to Mizzy. Again, just arched the back. Did well. Conway, what a quarter. She's almost single-handedly running everywhere for the Pioneers. Zalia Fleury was in there against Stevens. That's Fleury for the Pioneers. Ball up. 4.5 to play. 29-point margin. Good tap from Layla Carroll, or Layla Carroll even. That's for Gippsland. Mizzy wanted free kick for a hold, and in the end socketed over the boundary line. Throw in. So of course after this, 12 o'clock, boys Div 2 between these two, Bendigo and Gippsland. Can't wait for that. Again, Layla Carroll trying to take possession. Really good tackle from Conway. To be honest, I said Mizzy was best on, and she has been, but Conway is a close second. I was going to say that was just about as deliberate as you'd get, but umpire not going to pay at that time. Yeah, it's been Gemma Fisher, who's been really good as well for Gippsland. Conway, like Soko's last quarter. Morrissey's been involved a lot for the Pioneers. There's been quite a few for both teams who can be very, I mean, everyone can be proud of their efforts, but there's a couple that have excelled. Quaife, another one of those, again, gets through the tackle. I'm not sure how she does it. Gets it up. Here's a chance for Gippsland to maybe get the ball forward. It's been trapped down their end of the ground, or their defensive end, for quite some time now. Ball up again. Just sort of going through the motions to close this game. Up forward by Carr into a bit of space, but there hasn't been a lot of space out there for a lot of this game. That's a really strong tackle again. Conway picks it up, gets it free. It's going to be Quaife who gets there first, opts for the soccer. Stevens the next link in the chain. Bends down, picks it up back to Quaife, who was immediately tracked by a trailing defender and has taken a ground. Deja vu, another ball up. So it's a good fitness test for the mids and the rucks here to just go from stoppage to stoppage. It's not what you want at the end of the game, admittedly. But they're doing a great job of it. Now out there's Matilda Percy, who we've seen behind the ball most of today and has been really good in that role, but has gone ahead of it here. And again, playing a defensive forward role almost, gets the ball going forward. Mizzy, clean again, picked up. And it was taken in a dual tackle. Pioneers get it going the other way. They forge something from this, either team. Morrissey's in there, did well to split that one-on-one contest. Picked up and dumped forward by Briganti. Dunham out there first to meet it. Couldn't quite get it under control. Mizzy now just sort of sits on top of it. Didn't make any attempt to get rid of it. That's the right decision. Good decision from umpire. Who, as I've said, also developing umpires. This trio out here today in this girls' game has been brilliant. Soko did really well. Just gets the ball going forward. Now Young. Bit of space. It was closed down very quickly, and the pressure was too good from the power. Mark taken by Grenis. High ball to centre half back. And as I said, Quaife has been in this position, that high half forward role. She's played it to perfection. Happy to be the link in the chain so often. Again, Corridor. Nearly broken up by Morello. She goes back, picks it up, evades the tackler, did well. And again, trapped so well by the power. At that time, Smorenberg was just under a bit too much pressure. Morrissey, can she feed the handball out? She could, but not quite to a teammate. Power trying to do the same, and that's another ball up. So, final stages. Gippsland are going to be successful. They are going to be 1-1. I thought I put the Moz on them earlier, but they are going to finish the carnival 1-1. With the loss on Monday and the win today. And it's the other way for the Pioneers, 1-1. A win on Monday and a loss today. So both teams can be happy with their efforts throughout this carnival. Fisher picks it up. Not quite to Carr. The siren is about to sound. I think it's going to beat them. There it is. A comprehensive performance from the Gippsland Power. They fully deserved it. Don't go anywhere. We're just going to go to a break. It was a comprehensive performance, as I said, but we have the boys Division 2 next. Gippsland and Bendigo in the women's Division 1. The girls 5-9-39. Gippsland, Bendigo 1-4-10.
Thank you. Just on behalf of the Pioneers, I want to thank Gippsland Power for a fantastic game. Played in beautiful spirits, so well done, girls. Well done to your coaches. Thank you to the umpires for officiating today's game. That was fantastic. To our Pioneer girls, a lot of adversity against us this game, wasn't there? A few girls dropping out, but the way you fought it out to the end, I can't be any more prouder. So fantastic effort to you girls. And today's player of the game was Charlie Conway.